And start recording. We live, Chris.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody, to yet another DIY-RoboCar's virtual race. I am Chris Anderson, who will be your master of ceremonies. Today, we've done a bunch of these. We're now interspersing virtual races with real races, as in our post-quarantine world. So we have a virtual race every month, and then we have a real race every quarter. The next race will be on August 14th in Oakland at Circuit Launch. What's the difference between the two? Not much. We have a simulator that simulates to the best of our ability the real race. The car software stacks, especially whether you're using Donkey or something else, are essentially identical. The only difference is that there's no real car. It's the cars are quote unquote running. The software is running on your local computer. The simulator environment, the track, is running at UC San Diego with our Jack Silberman is our server master, and it's been designed by Maxime Ellerbach, who is also going to be on here as well. So before we get started, Jack, can you give us a little of the background of what to expect today?
Good morning, everyone. This is probably our final race at the CCD virtual track. We are building a track for Northern California, a little bit more challenge than this. So we want to give you plenty of time for you to train. We continue to have the basically a cone that's going to be aleatorily placed on the track. You want to be able to crash to it, but you do lose points when you hit it. There was a little bit of reason why we didn't want to crash and stop the race, because in the reality this cone would be flying and not necessarily stopping the race. So you do lose points when you hit the cone that you're going to see, even though it seems that you're just driving through. Other than that, I think you're good to go, Chris. Like, server is up and running, the recording is up and running, Maxime is here, you are here, the races are here. Beautiful sunny day, no rain for the forecast.
Excellent. So you can see already that there's some cars just practicing on the track. Maxime is our simulation master, and not only responsible for this track, but is working on the next track that simulates our. Well, actually, Maxime, why don't you tell us what should we know about the simulation and what's coming next?
Well, for this race, we didn't change anything, as Jack said. But next time we'll mostly have a new circuit. So it will be the North California, the California racetrack you have guys in real life. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it will be something cool to modelize and to create, and yeah, maybe so. Maybe a new track, maybe some other things that will come, maybe. We don't know.
Well, the beauty of this, go ahead, yeah, sorry.
Maybe some top view camera of the track, so maybe have a little mini map or something like that. So I have some few ideas in mind, but yeah, I have to do them.
Terrific. So the beauty of this whole thing is that you don't have to live in California to participate. For a number of reasons. First of all, that, as Maxime just said, we're creating a simulator that, as accurately as possible, duplicates the real track. So you can train at home. You can train, in between races. You can try doing reinforcement learning and other techniques, and we'll talk about the techniques later on today. In addition, we can have. There are local groups around the world that can do this, and they can create their own tracks or simulate this. The track in the real world is really just white tape on a carpet. It's about 40 feet, maybe by 30 feet. One of the innovations we've added to the track in Circuit Launch in Oakland is that we now have walls, about 4-inch or possibly a little bit higher walls at some key points, which gives structure. It stops the cars because it's quite a tight track, and there's a lot of often as many as 4 cars on the track at the same time. There's a lot of unnecessary crashing between cars on different parts of the track, so the walls stop that. And in addition, the walls give structure that LiDAR can use to navigate. So we're starting to introduce more sensors and depth sensing LiDAR, and stereo cameras and all that sort of stuff. So you'll see LiDAR is already implemented right now on the screen. You can see that Sanchez has got his LiDAR turned on, and so all this is emulated in the simulator as well. All right, with that, let us cue up the order of events. We're going to be having 3 heats. We have 10 racers. They're going to be racing 2 at a time. We have 3 heats. Each racer will do 3 laps, but it will be their best single lap time that will move them into the ultimate ladder. Normally our ladders is the top 8. In this case, because we only have 10 racers, we may do the top 4. But basically we'll start off in doing it 2 at a time. So as we get ready, Dimitri and Andrew are going to be our first 2 racers. What that means is that the current racers get off the track. Dimitri and Andrew get on the track, and that means they log onto the server, from their home machines. And when I say go, they will switch into auto mode, and the cars will be racing fully autonomously. During the race, since they have nothing to do, they're not steering, I'm going to ask them to describe their technology, their technique, and we can learn a little bit more about AI at the time. So let us, going back now, just let me pull this up. If we can, Jack, if we could switch back to the track, we'll be able to see whether our racers, all text needs to get off the track, please. Very good. Okay, we're now waiting for the racers to log in, and this would be Dimitri and Andrew. So we'll see them at the starting line when they log in.
Yeah, I'm ready. I re-randomized the cone and the chairs.
Very good. Okay, this is Andrew.
Can I have my car named Altex? It's me, Dimitri.
Oh, it is. That's fine. That's
yeah.
Fine. Yeah, that's absolutely no problem. No problem. Okay, we now have Andrew versus Dimitri / Altex. Racers, are you ready?
Yes.
Ready.
On your mark, get set, go. Okay, there's a slight lag as it switches into auto mode, and they are off. So Drew heads off to an early lead. Now you'll see with Drew that if he touches that cone, the random cone in the track, and I think Maxime just mentioned randomizing cones, the ones on the outside of the track, if you pass on the wrong side of those cones, you're disqualified. On the ones on the inside, there is going to be 1 cone on the inside of the track, which Dimitri just hit. That's not disqualified, but it does cost him 1 second for hitting that one. So Dimitri, your car looks very smooth. Well done. You have an opportunity. No, you have an opportunity to turn up the speed in your next run. Andrew is an old pro at this and has clearly tuned his. Now, Andrew, what framework are you running?
This is called JetSim. It's based off of NVIDIA Jet Racer.
And it uses, in terms of the deep learning or AI techniques, I recall this one uses something, a variant of what we call simple supervision. Can you talk a little bit about how you trained this?
Yeah, sure. So it's primarily, the framework is PyTorch. So what the simple supervision is like you click out the path that you want it to drive, and it translates that coordinate of that image into a speed and throttle. So essentially you can pretty much make it behave on any kind of track just by knowing exactly where it needs to go and giving it the correct image. And that's all you really need.
I have a quick question, Chris. So Andrew, is the control loop running out of a computer or running out of an NVIDIA Jetson embedded computer?
It's running off of an NVIDIA GPU, but through Google Colab.
So it's a virtual GPU, if you will. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So in the real world, and you'll see that, in August 14th, as we did in our last real world one, he would actually have a Jetson Nano running on the car, and it'd be running exactly like this. He's basically simulated all that in Google Colab. A JetSim is the simulation version of Jet Racer, which is NVIDIA's kind of racing version of what they call JetBot. So if you Google NVIDIA JetBot or NVIDIA Jet Racer, you'll see more about how this works. So we've just had a collision, which seems to have knocked Dimitri out of the race, and Drew, you just kept plowed through him. But I think we're closing in on 3 laps, aren't we?
So Dimitri had 2 laps done,
okay.
And Andrew, he made 5 laps in the same time. So
very good. And I see that Andrew's. Thank you, Dimitri, for putting in the.
Sorry. Oh no, sorry, I offset it by 1 the times. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries, no worries. Okay, so Dimitri's
to...
Dimitri's looks like Dimitri's best time was about 53 seconds, and Andrew's best time looks like it was around 26 seconds. So that's good. Oh yeah, sorry. Maxime, I screwed up the spreadsheet.
No, you did not.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so that is good. Both racers managed to get times, and Dimitri in particular for your first race, that is really excellent to be able to get to complete not just 1 lap but 2 laps, and you were knocked out by a crazy racing car. So congratulations, it's a great start.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be Hirohaku and Lucas. So our former racers will get off the track, they will log off, and Hirohaku and Lucas will log on. Okay, I see Lucas, and I presume that the one is called Azu Nevgiv. That is actually...
Can I just delay a bit the departure of the cars?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, sorry. I have to modify something.
Okay, so I'm...
Yeah. All right, now we're
okay.
good.
All right, so racers, are you ready? Say yes.
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 On your mark, get set, go. Okay, and they're both off. While we start, Lucas, you seem to have your LiDAR turned on. Is that actually working, or is that just cosmetic at this point?
Just cosmetic at this point. I unfortunately did not get it to work.
Yeah, it's probably my fault. I think I may have broken something in the code, but all right. But and it looks like there's some other things that didn't work since you're now jammed up against a chair. But Hirohaku, you had a good start, but then also hit a cone. Is that a donkey car framework?
Yes.
That is good. Did you finish 1 lap?
No, I don't think so.
No worries. Okay.
Oh.
Well, you'll have an opportunity to come back for the next heat. So these 2 racers are both disqualified for this heat, but they've got 2 more to go. We are now going to switch to our next 2 racers. This will be Parking Lot Nerds versus Maxime. Maxime, are you okay racing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. Okay, so I think Parking Lot Nerds is going to be represented by Alex.
Yeah, and then I don't have to start it. So as soon as I start, it's going to be a few seconds, and I don't have control over that. Chris is going to
No
launch.
worries. Okay, so
don't worry.
We're only going to see 1 car at the starting line, but don't worry when I say go. There will be another one that will appear. Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah.
So Maxime, tell me when you're ready. Oh,
yeah.
There they are. Okay, we have both. All right.
So there is a little bit of a backstory in this model. Basically, this model. Oh, yeah, go.
Okay. All right. Well, you can talk while you're going.
Okay,
but by the way, the timing starts when you cross the line. So
So okay. It's all automatic now. So.
Okay. So yeah, what's your backstory?
So basically, this model never saw this track, and it wasn't even trained by me. It was trained by the sim. So it's not reinforcement learning. It's behavioral cloning, but with a policy. So basically, I'm the constructor of I'm maintainer of the sim, and I have quite some tools in my pocket.
So this is here, are you trying to tell this is your son that was just born?
Yeah. So basically, I know where the track is. So I know the center line path, and then I can place the car on different position on the track. And so I generate my data like that. I basically explore the whole track like that. And when when you are at a given point, you know how to steer to go in the right direction. So I trained my model like that, and hopefully it came with this model. And so this model was trained on the Robo Racing League track, so it's in the sim, and which is, it doesn't have the same textures, so it's pretty not usual that it would that it should work. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks really smooth. Congratulations.
The starting line is a bit not working, but I mean, you see that it's oscillating at the starting line, but yeah, the rest is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, Parking Lot Nerds is represented by Alex, and it looks like it was going very well and very fast until you wiped out. Alex, can you tell us a little bit about your technique? Is Alex online or?
I don't think so, Chris.
Okay.
I'm the one who pressed the button. So.
No worries. Okay. Very good. Well, do you know anything about their? Is that just?
Yeah, it's a regular standard donkey because I see when I launch the Docker container.
Yeah.
2.40 come out, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Maxime, have you done 3 laps?
Yeah.
All right.
I've all 3.
Now we
so
got.
my AI is pretty slow, but that wasn't the goal when I trained it. So
yeah. So Parking Lot Nerds had a best time of 23.94 seconds, which puts them in first place. Maxime, it was doing around 36 seconds. Look, this is crazy. He not only runs a simulator, he runs a time, but he's actually typing in his own time. So who knows how, he could type in anything.
I can give you the screenshot if you want.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Well done, Maxime. You're juggling a lot of balls there. Next up is going to be Jason and Joshua.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hi, Chris. This is Jason.
Hello, Jason.
Chris, quick question.
Yes.
Does the web control port need to be any number on my myconfig.py?
That's a good question for Jack.
Hi, Jack.
I don't think I got, what was the question?
Yeah, on the myconfig.py, I got my web control port to be like 8891. Does that matter for this tournament?
No.
Depends. Are you launching with your web controller? Or are you launching with a microcontroller with just a game controller? Because that's the web interface.
Yeah, I do via web.
Yeah, and then you should be able to see your client running. There's no difference. The only difference you have to do is instead of being the SIM to be local SIM,
cool.
You basically have the external, and you put the name of the server, and then should come.
Exactly. I tried it last night. It was great. I'm using Donkey Sim Roboticist Dev, right?
Very good.
Yeah.
And so
cool.
you can see the web interface?
Yeah. Can I start now? Can I start the
not quite yet.
Oh, don't do it yet. Okay.
You should log in. He can launch. Yeah, he can launch.
Sorry.
I can launch. Oh, yes, but not web connect yet.
Correct. So you're gonna launch and go into the server. That's great, but you're not gonna switch to auto mode until I say go.
Got it. So I'll do my Python manage.py drive model blah blah blah.
Exactly.
You can do that, and then your web interface should pop up, and then you don't press that start button.
Will do. Got it. Coaches.
It looks like somebody who's going by the name of Car is showing up already. That I'm not sure.
I think that might be mine. I'm not sure if I changed the name. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't switch into auto mode yet. No, it just log off and log back in. You want to make sure you start in local mode, not autopilot mode. Okay, Jason, we see you at the starting line. That's excellent.
Yay!
No, that's good. That's good.
I'm excited already.
And now we're waiting for Joshua to do the same. He's going to log back on. We'll shortly see.
Jason, just to let you know, we're going to have probably 28 high schoolers racing with us on the next race, Chris. Just a heads up, I have a summer class.
That's excellent. Okay.
We'll be busy.
We will do 4 at a time then. All right.
Got it.
Guys, all the hard work is done. Your cars are at the starting line. I'm going to say on your market set go, and you're just going to switch into auto mode.
Okay.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go.
Okay. Just switched in.
All right. Good. That'll take a second. And
so I can see the future. You'll be happy it's moving.
Very good. Yeah, Jason, you are going. That's
Yep.
excellent. Joshua, you're not going yet.
It says I am. Oh, there we go.
Excellent. Okay, that is good. Now,
oh,
Jason, well, that's fine. You guys got off the start line. That is a good start. So, Joshua, it looks like maybe some training needs to be done. Jason, you are slow and steady.
Yes, that's a secret. Very slow.
Absolutely. If you can make this turn, I will say you actually are well trained, and you are.
I'm
I do
hoping.
have a question for you fellows. How many laps, not necessarily data points, but how many laps do you think you put on your model?
Okay. And hi, this is Jack, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I call you Professors?
No, don't worry about it.
I respect what you're doing at UC San Diego, by the way. I'm up to 4 laps the most, but this one's only 2 laps because we were running short on time. Maybe 4,000, 3,000 records.
Yeah.
I'm
Want
straying
some
now.
advice? Next time, try 20, and then you just drive that with your joystick locally. I hope that's what you're doing, right? You drive locally with your game controller or your keyboard, whatever.
Yes, we're doing local driving using the web joystick.
Yeah. Try 20 laps next time and see how it goes.
Wow, 20 laps. Yes, coach.
Okay.
How long does that take, Chris and Jack? How long for 20 laps? How many hours does it take?
Depends, right? So if you're going to do on a local CPU, depending what you have, it's a good 50 minutes. Now, if you have a GPU, any video GPU, then you go for 1 minute.
Okay.
Wait, are you talking about the driving time or the training
the
time?
manual driving for the behavioral coding start?
The manual driving is relatively quick because it's I guess just take a look at the average here per lap, and then you multiply that by 20.
Yeah, I'm not a true gamer, so it takes me a while.
No, the training is to take you longer.
Yeah, it'll take you 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, well, so both of you got off the starting line, but neither of you finished a lap. That's fine. I see glimmers of self-driving in there. So
sure.
You'll come back. You probably will not have time to do training between now and then. So really the only things you can change are things like your speed, maybe some of your gains, etc. But try to tweak something just for fun. Cool. All right, we are now going into our last 2 of this heat. This is going to be Shitij and Lucas.
I already went the second round.
You did. Would you like to go again?
Yeah.
All right. This is just so that Shitij can have somebody to race against. Okay, so Joshua and Jason are going to log off. They just Control C and kill the program, which will do it.
Can I remove the line 19 or? Chris, sorry. Can I remove the line 19? And we keep the line 13 for Lucas.
Yes, let's
Okay.
let's remove line 19. Row 19, okay. Cool. And then in the future, Maxime, I may take you out of the race going forward.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we now have Lucas again, and Shitij is I guess vectorize. So racers, are you ready?
Ready.
That was one ready. Okay, on your mark, get set, go. Okay, Lucas is off.
It keeps going right and hitting the chair for some reason.
I see that. Although technically you missed that chair. And Shitij, have you switched into auto mode?
I'm running into some difficulty running the auto mode.
Okay.
I'll try refreshing.
Okay. All right. Looks like that is both did not finish. That's fine. You'll have a chance to come back. It looks like you're she just looks like you've gone back into manual mode. Is that right?
No, it's still auto.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's sort of gone on the track. It's trying to do something.
not entirely sure.
Oh, actually, I know what happened to mine.
What's that?
So yesterday I was having Wi-Fi problems where the camera was not getting the feed. And then I got it fixed last night because like I was the only one using Wi-Fi, and then my computer was the only one using up the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to go try to connect to stronger Wi-Fi.
That sounds good. Okay, great. Well, so thank you for both of you. You'll come back for the next heat. Please disconnect, and we're going to go back to the top of the race order for heat 2. This will be Dimitri versus Andrew again. Now, just to remind everybody where we currently stand, in first place so far at 23.94 seconds is Parking Lot Nerds. In second place is Andrew, who we will see now. And in third place is Maxime, who unfortunately is not going to be required because we're back down to an even number. I think we basically, that means that in fourth place is actually Dimitri. We now see Dimitri number 1 versus number 4 coming up for heat 2. All right, gentlemen, try out JetSim on GitHub. Very good marketing, Andrew. Always be marketing. So Andrew is at the start line already. We're waiting for Dimitri to join him. Dimitri's going to log into the server.
I put the hyperlink to our GitHub in the chat if anybody actually wants to try this out.
Excellent. Okay, Dimitri is there. Racers, on your mark.
Sorry, just a second.
No worries.
It's just connection problems.
I'm
trying to reconnect now.
No worries.
Okay. JSim on GitHub. I like it.
Okay. Racers, are you ready?
All right. Yeah.
Okay, on your mark, get set, go. So as we recall from this, both of them raced well, but JetSim was absolutely going faster because it's well trained. Dimitri, did you change anything?
Yeah, actually, I'm not. I have like 4 or 5 models trained for this track and other tracks. I've started training them like 3 days ago, literally. Before that, I didn't know about donkey car. So yeah, and I trained them in a quite different way because I was learning as well as the models to how to do these things. And so basically, what I've changed now, I reverted to my first model, trained with the higher refresh rate. Like I used 60 hertz. And yeah, so I was hoping that this model will be more precise.
It was looking really good. You just got wiped out by Andrew again, but I thought you were looking excellent.
So Dimitri, it's very impressive for 3 days that you have been doing this. Little hint, if I'm assuming you're using the donkey or the full donkey setup. So if you go to myconfig.py, there are ways you can accelerate or give a little bit of a boost on your AI model without really training again. And then you can do that in incremental, for example, of 0.1 or 0.2 until it breaks. That makes sense. So you can give a little bit without doing anything. You can make basically your robot to go faster.
Jack, what line is that he should change?
I don't have it open here with me, so someone's going to have to go do a search for AI and see what options are there, and just have to comment that line, and then you put some incremental on it.
Okay. All right. Well, so I think Andrew did get a time in that one. Dimitri was not able to finish before Andrew wiped him out. Andrew's time is not faster than his best time from the first heat, which was 26:04. Yeah.
Wait a bit. I might for the spreadsheet. I might not have the best time for the heat 2 and 3 because
okay.
Yeah, so
all right, at any rate, Andrew did at least get 1, I think 2 laps on that one, so we'll wait for that. But next up is going to be Hirohaku and Lucas. Lucas, you're racing a lot these days. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. We have Hirohaku at the start line already, and we are now just waiting for Lucas to join. There is Lucas. Racers, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
On your mark, get set, go. All right. Now, now Lucas's best time is not finished yet. So if Lucas gets any points on the board, that will be excellent. That will be a progress. Hirohaku also did not finish last time, so any points on the board will be progress. Hirohaku looks very strong coming out of the gate. Hirohaku, can you tell us a little bit about your car? That's, by the way, he hit the cone, so that's 1 second off.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. We depend on one good controller, and we think the first corner and fourth corner is difficult. So
yes,
we are the first corner more and more, and the fourth is also added. And
yes.
the model is the GPU RTX 3070.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So I think you finished one lap. Yeah, finished one lap, which is excellent. Is that Maxime? Did they finish one lap?
You finished 2 actually.
2 laps. Excellent. Okay, and
Yeah.
good times. It looks like the fastest time was 28:77.
7, yeah, that's right.
Very good. Okay, so 28:77, which puts them, I believe, in 3rd place. And Lucas is still going. Not disqualified?
Not yet.
Okay. So Lucas is still going. And do we have any laps for Lucas?
This is his 4th one. So
this is his 1st lap.
Yeah.
Okay, and he did not finish. Okay, so another do not finish for Lucas, but that's fine. There'll be a 3rd time for them to come back. Next up is going to be Parking Lot Nerds versus Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Jason's starting.
Very, very good.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to start with Parking Lot Nerds, and I don't have control over the launch. So
that's fine. So we're just waiting for Jason to log into the server. He will appear on the start line.
Okay, just start the manage PY drive.
Mm-hmm. And you will pop up. Very good. There you are. Okay, racers, are you ready? Jason, do you have your web interface up?
Okay, starting web, and yes, I see camera on the web.
Go for it. Go to auto.
Okay, auto started.
Okay, and you are off. Excellent.
Yay,
okay.
Yay.
Parking Lot Nerds is racing ahead. Well-trained car that basically races every month, which is encouraging. Jason, you are well. You started. That's something.
Went to the right.
Yeah. Okay. A little more training, probably.
Sure.
Okay. And so let's just let Parking Lot Nerds get their points board.
Sorry.
Oh, head-on collision and boom. Okay, they pushed you just aside and continued. And in the real world, that happens as well, except for it leaves pieces on the track. Okay, and Parking Lot Nerds is wiped out, but we did get a couple laps, I think, under the belt. So Parking Lot Nerds got a 29.83. Which is not their fastest time. And our last race for this heat, this is going to have one heat after this, is going to be Joshua versus Shitage. By the way, as we continue to talk, I believe that Parking Lot Nerds remains in first place, followed by Andrew, followed by Hirohaku.
Yeah.
Okay, Joshua and Shittage, you are up. Okay, racers, are you ready?
I'm sorry, did you say I was next?
This is Joshua versus Shittage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
On your mark. Actually, I only have one car here. So that's Shittage is in, and we're still waiting for Joshua.
Yeah, I passed the wrong model. I'm just restarting it right now.
Okay, that's fine. We'll wait. Shittage, well, okay, over there you are. Okay. Racers, tell me when you're ready. Shittage is ready, I think.
I'm ready.
Okay, on your mark, get set, go. So again, for those watching at home, they probably have in the real world, you need to have like a gamepad controller or a web interface. And at the gamepad controller, you'd be pressing a button that switches you into auto mode. In the web interface, you'd just be, clicking an option that switches you into auto mode. And at that point, the car drives itself. So good start. I think that might have been a second off for, I think that's vectorized. It wasn't, though. Missed the cone. Very good.
Yeah.
Vectorized, is that Shittage or Joshua?
Yeah, so that is Shittage.
Okay, very good. So tell us a little bit about your car.
So I trained this model yesterday. I think it was only like 2 or 3 laps that I trained it on. And then yesterday I was trying to experiment with some path finding and stuff like that. But I wasn't quite able to get it to work, and I kind of messed up my Python pip module somehow.
Oh my.
But I was able to fix it today in the morning, and I just ran the model that I trained yesterday.
Yeah. Well, by the way, everything you described is completely normal. It happens to all of us. You made it off the start line. That's something. You have one more chance in the next heat to do better. So we'll ask you at the next heat what you're going to change to get it to perform better for that last heat.
So just a moment, Chris. Hey, Jason, remember when you're starting to learn to ride a bike? How many times did you try?
Too many times, Jack.
Right. Oh, you're going home. You just move. How many times you get to remember you take the wrong turn because you're not paying attention? It's the same thing. You have to give a little bit more data so the model start to learn some of this stuff, right? And then that magic number, a lot of people say data points, but data points on a 2 kilometers long track is not the same thing of data points on a 2 meters track, right? So think about, I want to see this curve X number of times, right? And I want to see this position X number of times so that it becomes solid and solid. There are some pain associated with that. We have to collect data, we have to train, but those guys have been doing this exactly like that, right? Keep adding, and get more robust.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that is the end of the second heat, and we're now going into the final heat, the third heat, which will determine the ultimate ladder. So going into the third heat, we're going to start off again with bear with me. We're going to start off again with Dimitri versus Andrew. Now we've seen this race before. We can guess how it's going to end up because it's been pretty consistent. However, going into the ladder, we're going to mix it up a little bit. So it looks like actually, you know what, Jack and Maxime, I'm thinking we should go into the ladder right now. Given that we own, okay. Let's mix it up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the heat 3 is going to be the ladder. What's the difference between the ladder and the heat? The difference is that we get the fastest and the slowest to race against each other. So in this case, right now we have 5 racers who have times. Everybody else was a did not finish. Now those racers include Maxime. So we really only have 4 because Maxime is just subbing, so we get an even number. So we really only have 4 racers who have times. So the fastest time right now is Parking Lot Nerds, and the slowest time is Dimitri. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually have Dimitri race Parking Lot Nerds. Now, actually, you know what? That's the way we normally do it.
Chris,
Yeah.
are you updating that final race ladder by any chance? Because it was what I'm displaying, but it's not there. Are you going to update that final race ladder?
No, I won't.
All right.
I won't. This is so easy. I'll do it by hand. So, you know, also ultimately what I want to do, the reason I'm making the fastest against the slowest is that I want Andrew and Hirohaku are quite close in time, and I want them to race each other. So this first one, Dimitri versus Parking Lot Nerds, is going to be a little bit uneven, and that's fine. But the next one, these are 2 cars with about the same time, and that should be exciting. So Dimitri and Parking Lot Nerds, please go to the start line.
Ready?
Jack, if you could switch us to the track.
It's coming up.
All right. Okay, so Dimitri is on the line. We're now waiting for Jack to bring in the Parking Lot Nerds bot.
All right, you ready?
Okay, Dimitri, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, Dimitri is trying to beat his best time of 53.6 seconds. And Parking Lot Nerds are trying to beat their best time of 23.94 seconds. On your mark, get set, go. All right, Parking Lot Nerds heads off for a quick start. Dimitri is off the line as well. So at this point, normally what happens is that Parking Lot Nerds will lap the slower car, but that can lead to a collision. So that'll be exciting to watch. Alex, Dimitri, you're looking solid as usual. Did you?
I have a chance. I have a chance.
Yeah, you do have a chance. Absolutely. Parking Lot Nerds just wiped out. So yes. So Dimitri, if you can just finish this, you will move on to the next level of the ladder, and you will race the winner of the Andrew versus Hirohaku race. Okay, come on, Dimitri, you can do this. Finish one. I only need 1 lap.
Dimitri, did you find that option, the myconfig.py that I was mentioned?
Yeah, it looks like AI boost something, launch something, but I'm not quite understood what these options mean. So I didn't change them. I just restarted my model.
You crossed the finish line.
Yeah, we have a log time.
We have a log time.
Nice.
Okay. So actually doesn't matter. I'll just take that time. What is the time? And we can move on to the next one.
It's 61.75.
61.75. Okay. So Dimitri, you have moved on to the finals. The next semifinal is going to be Andrew versus Hirohaku for the opportunity to race Dimitri in the final race.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes.
So now we have to move on to the next stage.
Hirohaku, is that Hirohaku?
Yeah.
Yes. So now you are going to race Andrew, and the winner of this race moves on to the next stage.
Oh, so now we are already on knockout stage.
We're on the knockout stage. Exactly. I jumped ahead. I skipped the 3rd heat because there were not enough racers.
All right.
Okay. So we're in the knockout stage. Andrew versus Hirohaku. Andrew is going to be in the inside lane. Hirohaku is going to be joining in the outside lane. Both of these racers are very close in timing. Andrew's best time is 2 seconds faster than Hirohaku's best time, but they're very close. They're both in the 20s.
I think you have a marketing professional here already, Chris. Look at him. I think he's trying to get a job with you.
Oh yeah, he's the best. I mean, you know, if we gave him more room, he'd probably be putting in his LinkedIn, URL. Okay, racers, are you ready?
Ready.
Yes.
On your mark, get set, go. All right, we have a jet sim on one side and a donkey in the other. They are both off. Jet sim immediately loses 1 second by going through the cone. Hirohaku is right on his tail. Oh no, wipes out on the cone. and possibly recovers. No. Oh,
No.
what a shame. What a shame. Okay, well, this is still going, but I think, well, you know what? If he gets back on the track, we might just let it go. Let's just let it go. Except for he wipes out another cone. Okay. All right. Well, it seems pretty clear at this point. Andrew, the time at this point doesn't really matter that much. We'll say you finish at least one race, one lap, so that technically moves you on. So if you're okay, we'll just move on to the final. Andrew versus Dimitri for the final race of the day. Hirohaku, you had a great time. We will definitely see you next month. Is there anything you want to say before you go? Any lessons learned?
We'll be back.
You'll be back. Very good.
I'm curious. Where are you located? And then, by any chance, did you try to ping the server? And can you tell us what was your ping time?
A pin time. I'm not too sure. Maybe 200, more than 200, maybe more than 200.
Yeah. So are you in Asia?
We are in Japan.
Yeah, pretty good, Chris. So Dimitri is in the UK, and then those folks are in Japan, and then usually we have a hard time when people has a longer ping time. They are doing it.
Yeah, so congratulations. We've always had strong teams from Japan. There's a really good group there. And Hirohaku, are you doing in person, live races too?
We are doing it by team, in team.
In team.
We have
Excellent.
like 6 people here.
And do you do it just virtual race or also in person?
We have 2 separate teams, and then we compete with each other, and then we combine into one team.
But do you do it in the physical world, like in the same room, or just do it all virtual?
Oh, we're in the same room.
Oh, that's fantastic. Very good. Okay, so that's
also have. I guess Chris was asking to have physical robots that you have some robots running at this physical track also in Japan.
No. We use the virtual model. We don't have.
I see. Okay, thank you, Jack, for explaining. Yeah. So the good news is now COVID is mostly over in most of the world. There's a real opportunity to find local people in whatever city you're in, and we have you can meet each other on the Discord. If you go to DIY-RoboCars.com, there's a list of local meetup groups up there in the tabs. It's very easy to start. We have a guide on how to start your own. Basically, all you need is a room with a carpet and some tape. It's so simple, and it's a lot of fun, and there's no reason not to get together now, and so we'll be encouraging more of that.
Yeah,
all
and
right.
I think Chris' new company going to sponsor some of the UCSD students to travel to compete, I heard, so we'll take that sponsorship.
Jack's another good marketer. I can see where Andrew gets it. Okay, this is the final race of the day. This is going to be Andrew running his jet racer versus Dimitri running a donkey framework, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. The winner of this gets exactly nothing other than bragging rights and praise and virtual thumbs up. In person, the same thing. We give no prizes, but it's a lot of fun. Before we leave, I should remind everybody that we will have the in-person racing starting. I don't know whether we have actually I think the next race is actually the August race. We have a in-person, if you're in the Bay Area, we have a training day on July 17th, which is later this month. And then a month later, we have the racing day. So the training day is actually in person on the track. The track will be set up exactly like the ultimate track will be set up in August. So on Saturday, July 17th, you can join us at circuit launch if you're in the Bay Area. And then on Saturday, August 14th, we will have the big race with hundreds of participants and the barbecue and everything else, and that'll be exciting. So with no more ado, let's go into the final race of the day. Dimitri versus Andrew. Racers, are you ready?
Ready.
Yes.
On your mark, get set, go.
When will the next virtual race be?
The next virtual race will probably be in September. Technically we should do it in August, but we just get, because that's when we're doing the physical race. We're trying to do physical, virtual, virtual, physical, virtual, virtual. That's the cadence. Now, of course, you can always set up your own virtual race anytime you want with your friends. The server is open, and if it isn't open, Jack can arrange it for you. So you don't need us to do that. But basically, the answer is the first one. The next one I'm going to do is September. So Andrew, you have taken off to an excellent start. Now, Andrew, as you speed through this race, I think a couple times in the past you hit some cones. Any thoughts about that?
You mean the random cone?
Well, certainly the random cone, but if I'm not mistaken, you may have wiped out one time as well. No, I am mistaken. I think maybe you just ran into another car. That was it.
Yeah, I think this time it was mostly just crashing into cars.
Good.
Yeah, training against cones, it's doable with JetSim. It just takes extra effort, which I kind of just ignore, but it's doing pretty well right there on that cone.
I saw that you threaded the needle between the penalty cone and the disqualification cone.
Yeah, it likes it when the cones are really close together. But when there's like just a random one in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't register.
Yeah.
But I'm actually working on the behavioral cloning side where I can drive the JetSim and it'll actually, take the input of the throttle, it'll take the input of the steering and register that with the image for training. So it'll pretty much be the same thing as Donkey Car, but with pipe.
That's really exciting. You managed to pass Dimitri without hitting him.
Yep.
So congratulations. That was good. Dimitri, you're looking really good. Did you change anything?
Yeah, I switched back to my first model, which I ran with the first race, but I still have 60 hertz in my config. So yeah.
And do you think you would be comfortable turning up the throttle, or do you feel it would just run off the track?
Well, I mean, probably, yeah. My goal was to just run the loop from start to finish, and that's basically it. I didn't aim for the high price or whatever, because I just want to try to start dig into it, because I'm mostly, well, I've been working for Bumble as a PHP developer, and robotics is my hobby, and I built a couple of robots, but I've never been into artificial intelligence or something, so it's a new topic for me.
You did really well.
Хорошо.
Brilliant.
3 days, not bad.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so we now have a winner. So congratulations, Andrew. You are the winner. I should note that Andrew was in third place in the physical world, up against some very, very tough competition. Not only did he do even better now, but also I think the car is performing better as well. So Andrew, you're going to be a real force to be reckoned with in August in the physical track. Will we see you up just at the August day, or do you intend to come up for the July training day as well?
The July, what I need to know what actual day it is.
On the meetup. It's on the meetup. I think it's July 17th, but it looks like you're in good shape, so maybe you don't need an extra.
I have a feeling Andrew gonna be in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. All right. Very good. So our final results are in first place is Andrew with Maxime. I don't think actually I have the time for this, but it doesn't matter. And
I have them if you want, but
no worries. Okay,
so
in first place is Andrew. In second place overall is Dimitri, and in third place I believe is Parking Lot Nerds. Is that right? As far as the ladder is concerned, it's just those two. But in terms of the timing, I think Parking Lot Nerds had the fastest time, even though they wiped out in the ladder. So I think we'll just declare them as third place, and in fourth place will be Hirohaku. I wouldn't submit these to the Nobel Prize Committee. I may have gotten some of my numbers wrong, but everybody performed really well. Thank you, thank you both, Jack and Maxime. The back ends are looking very smooth right now. We're not struggling over login issues or random racers on the track. I think that, the ping times, in other words, people, making sure that people who are coming in, who are logging into the server from around the world are not overly disadvantaged, is something that we're always working on. If need be, it is possible to send your model ahead of time to Jack, as the Parking Lot Nerds did, and Jack can run it in the local environment with no ping at all, with minimum ping. So that is an option. But again, hang out on the Discord. There's a virtual racing channel, and the developers are all there as well. And we will. Any last words, Jack? Any last words, Maxime?
No, just stay tuned for the Discord. If you're not there yet, keep your eyes open when Maxine and I release the new track, so you can have advantage of training. Trust me, it's not going to be 2 or 3 laps going to make a solid model. So you're going to have to give a little bit more time. Said so, there is no need for you to keep doing deep learning and first learning. You can do hard coding. You can use Python with OpenCV, ROS2 navigation, whatever it is, we take it all, right, Chris?
Absolutely. And what Jack is saying is that although the donkey card framework is kind of built up to do this automatically, any kind of code that can talk to can basically get its camera feed from a web server rather than an actual camera, can work. And we've seen, as he said, we've seen people using simple OpenCV. Obviously, the Jet Sim Racer does that very well. There's I think probably the Amazon Deep Racer could work this way. There's as ROS, you name it. So it's basically any framework you write or use should be able to use a simulator instead of the physical camera, and then you just set the IP address and the port to our server, and you're good.
Yeah, right now we can provide you the camera. That's basically an RGB image, and we can provide the LiDAR information as sensor input, and even some of the positions on the track. Then you should run with it.
Good. Maxime, any last words?
No last words for me.
Very good.
You all said.
All right, thank you participants. Thank you, Jack and Maxime. Thank you, UCSD, for infrastructure support. We will see you in person next time and virtually in September.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Bye all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks.
Can we have a race where everyone's bot runs at the same time?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you guys want to do that, that's absolutely fine. That it absolutely happens in the physical world. We always have the last race be a demolition derby where everybody's bot runs at the same time. But Jack, if you're willing to sit around and
okay. I'll sit here.
Okay, I'm going to sign off because I have my children to feed.
Go, Chris. Thanks. I appreciate you sharing your family time with us. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Everybody connect, but don't run yet.
Yep.
Okay.
You too, Maxine. Bring it in.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will fire up for the Parking Lot Nerds, but it will start automatically. So when you see that purple robot come up, it should be on the back of the car and start to push people, then you start, right? So
Just tell us when it appears, because some of us have some lag.
yeah,
some
I'll be
latency.
able to see it, and then I'll let you know when to go.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Wait. I'm sorry. Can you wait?
Yeah, we can wait. Hold on. Let him stop then, because this guy will start. I'm stop it. I'm going to start again. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, we are ready.
Okay. So I'll tell you when I see you guys. I'm seeing the future 3 or 4 seconds ahead of you. I'll let you know when you start. Get ready. Okay, go.
Go.
Go. If not, going to be push it. The parking lot's already pushing 3 cars ahead of it. There will be Andrew in parking lot nerds. We'll see what's happened.
Somehow the sim is going well.
Yeah.
57 FPS.
Yeah. With that many clients, how many? 2, 4, 8, 9. Good job, Maxime. It's keeping up. It's a good thing to take a look on the GPU use. I'll let you know.
Boom.
It's, believe or not, it's 30% use only. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the communication between the servers and the clients. So sending the packet and stuff like that, that takes the most time.
Of course, now it's 22, but I think on the top it was 33, 35. It's good. And I have the GPU just doing the video encoder, so it's good. Okay, yeah, we can maintain with this resolution, at least with this amount of assets, we can maintain that many.
You can also add more screens. You can like in the beginning.
The
settings. So that way you
we
can see all the cars.
Yeah. So our concern was, Andrew, is that the more you add to that, then the FPS is going to come down. And then someone has a higher refresh control rate, will be able to keep up. That's right.
Right. But this is the only time to try it to actually know.
If you guys want to do that, I can. So give me a moment. Everybody.
So everybody disconnect.
And I'm gonna go back there. Let me, since we're ahead schedule here. Okay, I'm gonna stop the simulator. I'm gonna bring it. How about 8? Want to do that?
Yeah, 8. Let's see if my script to split the screen works.
Oops, I put 80. That's not good.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, so start connecting. See if we can get 8 to show up there.
All right.
Would you have like any tips on what to do for the next race, or?
We have lots of tips for you, but hang in there for now.
All right, thank you.
Do we have 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. Cool. Let's see if we can keep up. You guys, go ahead and start. We'll see what's the FPS that we can keep up here.
The screen is getting a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and let me see. Most important, what's the GPU utilization?
We don't see the limits.
Still 36%. So we're not, for some reason, we're not maxing up on the GPU, even though the FPS went to 28. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So for some reason, it's not hitting the GPU as much as we would imagine. Huh?
My model's still performing well. So even if the FPS is low, it's
that's because it's still above 20 FPS and 20 Hertz the refresh rate of the telemetry packets. So the telemetry packets get sent 20 times a second, and it's done during the. I mean, one send is considered as one frame. I mean, yeah, you get it, but as soon as it's under 20, you will see some issues.
Yeah, Dimitri, so okay, let's talk about hints. So Dimitri, that 6 heads that you put in there, it's not quite helping you on the physical world. You could try if you have enough hardware to keep up depending on the resolution of camera, but here in the simulator is not really helping you because you get the information back at the simulator at 20 Hertz currently.
Right.
That's not much to help you there. All right, in terms of hints for everybody, number 1, 2 laps, not gonna cut it. 4 laps, gonna cut it. 10 laps, maybe. 20 laps, you're gonna have a good model. So usually what I do with my students, I tell them, go do 20 laps. While it's training, you go collect some more data, and then maybe you have 40 laps, right? Because it takes a while to train on just a desktop machine on this particular track. It's all this particular track that I'm talking about. 20 laps will take a good 40-50 minutes if you training CPU only, but then go on with your life, right? Go read your emails, study, do whatever you need. Then your model should be trained in around 40 to 50 minutes. Now, if you have access to a NVIDIA GPU 270, 1070, 1080, then that's going to be significantly faster. I'm talking about 50 times faster, right? And then it means maybe you're going to train in less than a minute, again, for 20 laps, same track, right? So it's significantly faster. So any hint is trying to get access to a GPU that NVIDIA, and you have CUDA, and you prepare to train TensorFlow to take advantage of that. Now, if you can't have access to that, Andrew, for example, has been using Colab, and then he has access to GPU acceleration. and it doesn't train locally. So that's another thing. Then assume you already have your model, a couple of things you have to do. It's number one, when you train, most of your training, your robot is moving. So your robot doesn't quite know what a start means, right? It's in the beginning kind of wobbly around because you never really collect data that slow. So there is something that's called AI boost and the amount of time. That's important for you, Dimitri. So that means you're going to go on that particular throttle for a particular number of seconds without taking any consideration AI model. For example, 2-3 seconds, go just on a straight line for 2-3 seconds with full throttle, right? It helps you start. That's one hint. The other would be you get the AI model after you train, you're starting to put on a multiplier on it until it breaks, right? So you start with 0.1, 0.2, just basically 10%, and then 15%, and see when you start to miss the lines. Okay, because basically you train a little bit slower, your steering won't expect to be in a speed. So if you go faster, you're going to overshoot. But it's okay if you overshoot just a little bit. And then when you start to use the multipliers. I don't have a donkey. I'm using a Mac, and I don't have a donkey installed on this computer, so I can't find that particular line. So if Andrew has his donkey installed, he can just go tell you what exactly those are. But it's pretty easy. It's right there. It's comment. You comment out. You put the boost of the throttle that you want. You put how many seconds, and then you look for another line that just basically has AI multiplier or something like that. And then you start.
Yeah, I found them. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And then you start really slow. Okay, then the ultimate is, for example, for the people that's in Japan and 200 milliseconds, you think your car is not working very well. If you send me a Docker container, then I can run your model from here, and then you won't have the same latency that you see, similar to what I'm doing now for the parking lot order. He just sent me a Docker container. It's just basically a donkey installed on a Linux machine that then when I fire up here, the model run from my server, right? So he trained locally. He put that artificial latency during the training. Don't forget, during your training, you have to put that artificial latency. And then when you're going to run on the server, you have to remove the artificial latency. Does it make sense? Because if you train locally and you don't have a latency, when you come to the server, you will see a latency. So then your model doesn't quite know what to do. So during your local training, you do have to add the artificial latency. Then we're going to go to the server. There are a couple of things you have to change. Number one, you're no longer running on local. You already know how to do this because I see you running on the server. And also have to remove that artificial latency that you train, put it to 0. Because if not, we have an artificial latency on the top of the real latency. Does it make sense? So you train with artificial latency, then when you come to the server, you remove the artificial latency. Then when you start, you want to put a little boost so your AI know what to do, because most of your data is not going slow, it's going on a specific speed, and help you to get this faster start. And then the last part is you accelerate the model that you already did. You just basically say, hey, if that your throttle was 0.6, now start to use 0.7 or 0.8 will be automatically for you until your model start to break, then you back up a little bit. Those are the hints that we have for you.
Yeah, I have one. It's not about the number of data you get, but the variety of the data. So if you only record the same image 1,000 times, it won't be as efficient as if you record different, so angles, speed, or whatever. So, for example, when you see your car crashing, just don't restart the car and redo that over. Try to correct it in order to have multiple images that so that when he crash in the race, he knows how to recover. So try to have the most different data instead of having just the same racing line over and over for 20 laps. So that's my hint.
Is it possible to do the throttle multiplier if you're using the web interface?
It's on your config.py. So yes, definitely. It's in a config.py. Once the autopilot kick in, then that multiplier is there one way or the other. So just make sure you don't comment that line on the my config.py.
Because it says AI launch enable button equals R2. And then I don't really know what R2 is supposed to be.
Well, R2 is basically your right side button 2, but you can always put that also say always launch. Then you know there to assume R2 is always there. You can make that automatically do for you.
Okay, thanks.
That's another option there.
And the AI launcher is just for the initial boost. Like what really matters is the throttle multiplier.
Yeah.
So if you train it, it's usually by default set to 1.0. So whatever the value is multiplied by 1. So it's its own value. But if you do like 1.2, then it's scaled up. It's like a scalar. So if your throttle was averaging around like 0.7, then it's going to bump it up to like 0.9 if you're multiplying it by a scalar. So that's just a way to increase the speed. Like JetSim has the same thing. I have a throttle gain is what we call it, but essentially it's like the same thing. It's a multiplier.
Yeah, thanks. I was using 1.2 for the throttle multiplier actually.
Yeah, nice.
Professor Silberman, a quick question. This is Jason.
Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, it was exciting. I appreciate again what you all are doing. This open source allow high schoolers to get involved. So you're from UC San Diego. From your perspective, are there many high schoolers doing this sort of amazing experience?
Yeah, do me a favor, search for Inspiration Team, FTC, and you heard about first robotics competition, and then so the answer is yes.
Okay.
Not many, but there are.
Cool. No, thanks.
You're welcome. And then, are you in San Diego?
Yeah, we're actually in San Jose. We're VCS High School.
Yeah, so I helped Torrey Pines High School start the program there. CCA had the program, but now with COVID, people just disperse, and I haven't seen anybody on the simulator, but we do have a program, and then that Inspiration Team that I mentioned to you is a high schooler. They should reach out to them. They tell you how they raise money, how they go to other robotics competition. They do, and I say they, I'm part of it. So full disclosure here, we do RoboSub, we're going to be doing RoboX. We're going to do the vegan prix. Yeah, it's lots of opportunity, Jason. So awesome. we help it going.
Cool, thanks.
And then in San Jose, just be ready to, if you can build at least 1 or 2 of those robots and we can help you, it's not very expensive, then come over to to race with us in Oakland.
Oh yeah, that's exciting. DIY-RoboCars, right?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Cool.
Like all the students that you show here, they're going to really like it, because now it's the physical world.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Professor Silberman, I want to do a shout out for Maxime and the others on Discord. I'm that Jason guy. And yeah, and thanks for it. It was awesome. The Discord community that helped us a lot.
Yeah. So looking forward to seeing more and more students get involved. Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm going to end this meeting. You can guys keep using the server as much as you can. As Chris was saying, when you need it, just let me know. I can bring the server up and you can have your own races. We are about to get really close to have a server that runs 24/7, and then I don't even have to be on the loop. Except if it crashes once in a while, you're going to have to ping me to restart. But soon we expect to have a server running 24/7.
Does anybody want to have an unofficial race against me?
Maybe who had some great times.
I'll stop recording, right? And if it will be too long, so but we keep going.
Yeah.
I have to close them.